Folks, I had an episode over the weekend. I had to be rushed to the hospital. I had a little problem with my blood pressure spiking up, and later in the show, when Andrea comes on, she'll talk about nutrition. And this segment, Andrea's done a great job. It couldn't have come at a better time to focus on good nutrition. And I know Mike's going to be changing my diet for good nutrition, but in segment, being in a hospital, a question they asked me about a million times was, when were you born? And I kept telling them different people, because you speak to so many people, and I must have been asked this question about 50 times. When were you born? I kept on saying February 57, 257. So does anyone here remember why 257 is significant? Does anyone remember?
I remember.
Well, here is the tie-in of the 257. This incredible man next to me, Joe Satriano, gave out a lot of scholarships last year to high school seniors. How many scholarships did Joe give out? 257 scholarships. Where when I was born? February of 57. So there's a tie-in. It's a synergy. And with that, I give you inspiring stories with my good friend, Joe Satriano.
Thank you, Howie. That was really very cool. I actually could have helped 258 kids, but I stopped just because of you. If I could just do a little shout out first to someone who is near and dear to me. Sue's dad, who is like a second father to me. He just turned 90 years old, and I know he's listening out there. We had an incredible birthday party at my house the other day. People from all over the world came because this man has touched so many lives. And you talk about inspiration. He's lost 2 daughters to cancer. He lost his wife to cancer. And yet he continues to go onward and forward and continue to make a dent in this world. So my shout out to you, Dad. Congrats. And many more. Today, I started to think about the fact that every week I come on and I tell you about these amazing kids who do such incredible things, dealing with the fact that they've had to have an issue at home with a parent who's either passed away of cancer, presently battling, or in remission. I've gone the gamut of incredible stories that I've heard, because I've helped over 900 kids over the 10 years, giving out well over $500,000 in scholarships. And we're talking about kids who are able to deal with it by giving back in some way, running tennis tournaments to raise money, going to hospices, bringing flowers to the patients, bringing their dog to the patients, just so that this way a therapy dog can help just in the fact, like, forgetting your problems. Swim meets, baseball games, whatever it was. These kids are amazing. But tonight I really wanted to focus in on another group of kids who, I don't want to mislead your audience and the people who listen to me. Not every kid deals with it the same way that these kids deal with it. And I want to shout out to the kids who have the difficulties and really have a ton of problems dealing with the fact that they've lost their parent. Put yourself in the shoes of a high school senior who unfortunately has lost a parent or watching the demise of a parent. It's remarkable how some of these kids step forward and give back because they want to. There are other kids that step backwards. And that's part of the beautiful thing about the foundation. Not only do I give out the scholarships, but I go talk to these kids. And I try to leave them with hope and optimism, the fact that there is life at the end of a very long tunnel. There are some kids who actually want to drop out of school. Their grades drop precipitously, like off of a cliff. They have to seek therapy. They literally withdraw. And part of the beauty of the foundation, I'm not going to take credit for getting these kids back on track, but I try in my own little way to just give them hope and the fact that, yeah, it's tough right now, but life is going to get better. And it does get better because we all learn to cope. We all find our own way. And what works for someone doesn't necessarily work for somebody else. like I said, there are wonderful kids that I've demonstrated, and I can keep going on with these kids every week, which I will do. But I thought it was necessary to just let the audience feel what these kids are feeling. The ones who really suffer with this, they all suffer with it, but some of them don't know how to deal with it. And those are the kids that I really feel terrible for. The other ones are dealing, and they're finding their way, and they're already on that path to healing. The ones who are having the difficulty dealing are the ones that really I reach out to, especially because of the fact that they are having difficulty. So my shout out to those hundreds of kids that I've met who were thinking of things like dropping out, turning to drugs, reaching out for help. Those are the kids that I'm shouting out to tonight. They didn't do anything special. They had to, in effect, just basically learn to live without a parent, or deal with a parent who's what, and as they watch their demise. And my heart goes out to them. And you know, again, in their own little way, the way that they survive, that's special for them. So they deserve a shout out as well. They didn't raise money to try to solve cancer. They didn't go to hospices. What they did was they tried to survive. And I want you guys to feel that the pain and the suffering that they felt, because it's real. It's very real for them. And you know, rather than let you think like every single kid of the 900 kids that I've met do wonderful things, some of them don't. And it's important for people to understand that we need to reach out to these kids, and we also need to keep them in our consciousness, because they exist. They exist all over the place. So that's my shout out to them tonight. If I just may say that my book, In Sickness and in Health, is on sale. It's a story of my life with Susan, and it's actually not a book about loss. It's a book about hope and optimism and love. That's the way Sue and I decided to deal with the 13-year battle that we had with cancer. You know the ending of the book. It took her life, but it never stopped us. And that's what I've been told from people who have read this book. They've told me that they're inspired to move forward in their life after reading it, because of the fact that they want to emulate the way we handled it. And we handled it with laughter and love and humor. The other wonderful perk of the book is not only is it apparently helping people to get through some tragedies, it also is that 100% of its proceeds goes to the foundation. So when I can give out 257 scholarships, it's not because I have that money, but I have money because of the book. I run concerts and sell other paraphernalia. And we try to make money as best we can to help these kids, and they really do need the help because they want to move on to college, but sometimes the financial issue, because they don't have a parent who's making that money anymore. So that's what this is all about. So Howie, I thank you so much for the opportunity to talk once again, and I'm looking forward to next week when I am hosting the Halftime Howie program at my house, and I hope to see all of you there, and come and enjoy.
All right.
Thanks.
Great job, Joe. Excellent. Now,